So I'm here at my restaurant. We're celebrating a National Coffee with a Cop Day. And so what we did was we have a bunch of deputies from the Orange County Sheriff Department here, also some local police officers, and we are giving out free Monarch iced coffee for everybody. It's a place for people to come in and basically get to know the deputies. The media focuses on too much negative, and I think this is a great platform for people to get to know the police officers. They are the ones that are serving our community. So I spent a lot of time speaking with the sergeant of the Orange County Sheriff Department. And unfortunately, he's not allowed to go on camera in a uniform, just for policy reasons. And we just spoke a lot about each other's past. And so I felt kind of inspired to kind of share my past with you guys. I really don't talk about. So I was a fuck up as a kid, basically, and I didn't really have good relationship with police officers as a young age. You know, as a kid, like from the age of 8 till like 11, 12 years old, I was a skateboarder, and during that time, skateboarding was illegal. It was against the law. When we'd be skating and the police pull up, we would run. They would chase us, and when they caught up to us, obviously they were not too happy. So my experience with police officers as a kid wasn't good. I've had a lot of I just didn't really like them, and I know now as an adult it was my fault. Like, I was a punk ass kid. I got in a lot of trouble as a kid. My dad died when I was 12. I didn't have a father figure. I went on the streets, you know, and I did a lot of stupid stuff, and that's where I messed up. And I then started going on the wrong path of life, got in a ton of trouble. Joined gangs, was involved in some pretty crazy stuff. I actually spent a lot of time in juvenile detention. My brother at one point was facing the death penalty. He got sentenced to life. He actually did 16 years. And during that time, I basically had to take care of my family. He's the older brother, and when that happened, I became the head of the household. I had to take care of him. His attorney fees were crazy, but that taught me a lot. I mean, he's been out for 5 years, and he's turned his life around. Now he works for a nonprofit organization called Defy, and what they do is they help inmates who have been in prison for many years get out and get back on their feet. They help with them getting jobs. They help them with interviewing, doing resumes, job skills and things like that, which I think is huge. It's so important. I also do my part. I hire a lot of these inmates from prison and work in my kitchen. I've had some bad experience with some of them, but for the most part, I've had really good luck with a lot of the inmates. And I have one guy here now. He was a lifer. He did over 30 years. He's in his 60s. He's been through a lot, and he's seen a lot. And he came out with nothing when he was released. They basically released him on the streets. He slept his first night on the streets in LA, no place to go. I try to get him out here to talk with the police, but he's still a little bit weird about stuff like that. I mean, obviously he's spent a lot of time in there. I'm gonna try to see if he's willing to get on camera and give a little background what he's seen. I feel like kids are the ones that we can reach, the ones that are going in the wrong path, the ones that are at risk. I was actually involved with the Scare Straight program in Ventura in the 90s. I was one of the speakers out there and trying to get kids that were in trouble, get them straight. I used to speak at my church to all the graduates from junior high entering to high school, kind of give my background and my history to help those kids. I do my part with the inmates coming out now, the older guys, but I feel like the work needs to be done with the kids that are getting into trouble. I think the youth is where we need to be focused on. I'm trying to do something with them, with the Orange County Sheriff's Department. It would be great to work something out with mountain biking, because me and the sergeant both agree that sports is what kept him out of trouble, because he grew up in a really bad area as well. And he had a similar background. I mean, I grew up really, really poor. At one point, we were on welfare. When my dad passed away, we didn't have a car. My mom took a bus to go to school every day to get educated. She got a job as a teacher, so I know the struggle. I mean, I grew up super poor, and I'm fortunate that I got my life back together, and I made a good life for myself. That's why I feel like I have to give back. And I do my part with trying to hire these guys coming out of prison, but I think we just need to focus on the kids that are going in the wrong direction. I visited my brother for 16 years while he was in prison, and dealing with that whole system is all messed up. You know, there's all these issues, but nobody's really doing anything to fix it. So I just want to put it out there, you know, you guys, like, you see police, just say hi. They're the coolest people. You know, support your local police officers. They're out there putting their life on the line. Their job is not easy. I don't know if I'm gonna put this in, post this up or not. Like, I have mixed feelings about the whole thing with putting it out there that I do hire inmates, because it could be a good or bad thing. Some people think it's great that we do that, and then some people kind of have reservations. And I didn't want to put it out there last year just because my restaurant got burglarized, and the last thing I wanted to do is have the public or the police think that it was one of my employees who was an ex-convict, because I knew for a fact that they had nothing to do with the burglary. I knew who was involved, and now that we have leads and new developments in the burglaries of my restaurant, burglaries of my house, I feel more comfortable putting it out there now that I do hire inmates. So, our YouTube. So I'm here with my friend Tony, who works with me here at the restaurant. So this is Tony. If you can share, like, just your background, like, if you don't mind, like, how long you spent in there.
Well, my background is basically I went to prison at 18, got out in my early 50s. I did 33 years straight. When I was released, I didn't know my Social Security number, so that took a while. I was not allowed to work based on not having a Social Security card.
What do you think is that needs to be done, or that can be done, that would be more helpful than the existing resources?
My opinion, if the parole department had better resources for their parolees, give them better direction on where they have to go towards being successfully discharged.
And I know personally a lot of business owners that say I'm stupid or I'm crazy for hiring anybody that has been in prison. You know what I mean? They'll say, oh, that's cool, you do that. But I would never do that. Because I've said, well, if you're interested, I could find, no, I'm not, I would definitely not. You know what I mean?
Well, I see it as their loss, because
right.
if you're sincere and you're willing to make an effort to change, and a lot of people do have good work ethics. Right. They learn that from incarceration.
Right. I could agree on that, like, from my experience this time. So I've employed 7 lifers, guys that's done all of them done over 15 years. But for the most part, they've been awesome. Tony is, like, by far, he's awesome. He comes to work every day, on time, or actually before his shift, and he just works the whole time, never complains. It's like he's the machine. I totally agree with him. I think the guys coming out of prison that's done a long time, they're a good head on their shoulders for the most part. Some of the guys that I worked with, they moved on to other things. Some I've had to let go, but I don't regret hiring any person here that was incarcerated. All right, these officers are having fun for the first time. All right, how was it? First time ever.